Hello everyone and welcome to the Grey Bruce Children's Water Festival. My name is Brad Hoover and I'm here to tell you about pollution in water. We will learn about the movement of water molecules from the bodies of water on land into the air and back again. This activity falls under one of our 5 very important messages: water science and technology. As we do this activity, please try to think about how protecting our water source is important in your life when you're at school, at home, with friends, or wherever you are. The water cycle has 4 major components: evaporation or transpiration, condensation, where the water vaporizes into clouds, precipitation, as it falls back in the form of rain or snow, and infiltration or runoff and recharge as it goes back into the ground. All of these steps are critical to the success of the water cycle. It is crucial that we reduce the effects of pollution in order to prevent it from spreading all throughout the water source. Can anyone tell me what the major steps in the water cycle are? That's right, evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and runoff or recharge. First, let's talk about evaporation. Can you think of examples of evaporation in your everyday life? Good job! Puddles drying up, letting your hair air dry, hanging washed clothes out on the line are all examples of evaporation. Do you know what transpiration is? It's actually water evaporating from plants. Have you ever seen a water tower in town? Think of trees as mini water towers. They can actually hold hundreds of liters of water. Ever walk into a forest on a hot day? It's not only cool from the shade, but there's a cooling effect from transpiration. It's like us sweating when it's hot out. Micro droplets of water are released into the air, and it creates humidity. The warmer the air, the more humidity or moisture it can actually hold. So let's look at this kettle boiling here. What happens when water goes from a liquid to a gas? You want to know what's amazing? When water evaporates, it actually naturally cleans the water. So if we look at the ocean, it's full of salt water, but when that evaporates, it's clean. Polluted water becomes clean because it's actually only the water vapors that are being released. Everything else stays. That doesn't mean though that we can actually just drink the water from the air, because due to other pollution, air pollution from our cars or burning fossil fuels, it can actually stick and contaminate the air. And there's actually sometimes microorganisms in the air too. So we're gonna get this jug. As you can see here in the jug, the water remains in gas form until it's cooled and condenses and goes back to liquid form. As the water cools and condenses, it forms a cloud of fog. Many microdroplets collide with each other and form larger droplets or crystals. When the droplets get too big and heavy, they fall back to Earth. Precipitation can either run off the land to the nearest water source, or it can recharge and seep into the ground and replenish the water supply. It's also known as infiltration. As the sun heats up lakes and rivers, which evaporates into water, water vapor rises, and then it's cooled in the upper atmosphere. As the vapor cools, it condenses and forms water droplets that represent the formation of clouds. Even in winter, when lakes don't freeze, the water is actually warmer than the air, and it makes lake effect snow. Did you know that for every 1,000 meters or 1 kilometer you go up in the sky, the temperature actually drops by almost 10 degrees Celsius when it's dry and 6 degrees when it's moist, or where the clouds form? Airplanes fly at about 9 kilometers high in the sky. So that means on a warm day when it's 25 degrees out, the airplane would actually be flying at minus 30 degrees Celsius. So what happens when clouds become oversaturated? You're right, it rains or snows. The water droplets fall onto the Earth's surface. The water cycle is an amazing thing. The water we use today is exactly the same water that dinosaurs had back when they roamed the Earth. That's why it's so important that we take special effort to conserve the water that we have to prevent it from getting polluted at all costs. When you go home today, can you teach your family all about the water cycle? Enjoy the rest of the water festival.